You hungry? Well, I'm hungry. You like baseball? Well, I love that shit. Want a slice of pizza? Go to New York. You want hot weather? Come to LA. You want to break bread? Call Nick Turturro. Ready, motherfucker? Are you ready? Well, I'm fucking ready. Get ready! What the fuck? What else is new? Let me get some of that fucking Tito's.
Here we go.
Right.
Say when.
That's
All right.
good. Now, does it go good with this shit over here?
Yeah, you know, I only do it because I'm trying to lower my sugar a little bit. I'm trying to get healthy while I'm still being fucked up.
Yeah. Fuck it up. Fuck it up. Yeah. You like Kanye?
Kanye ain't really my cup of tea, dog.
Ah!
Because he does too much crazy shit.
I know, I love it. Come on, let me hear that part. Let's get to the part.
He's a wild boy.
Here,
but
listen to that. You heard this song? Stormy Daniel. Gotta bag the boss. I call that a Corey Gamble. That's my man, Corey Gamble.
Yo, he got skills.
He got skills.
But the motherfucker be lost sometimes, man. Take that red hat off, man.
Oh, you talking about Corey Gambles?
No, I'm talking about Kanye.
Kanye?
Make America great again.
Oh, yeah.
He's gotta take that hat off, man.
He's gotta get that hat?
He about to get his ghetto card revoked.
Really?
He ain't gonna get as many ribs to the cookout. Usually we give Kanye a whole slab. He might get
Yeah.
2 ribs.
That's a fucked up time.
I wish he would fuck over Italians so y'all would join the fight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Italians, we kind of fucking left out, bro. We fucking forgotten.
And as I
Forget
said in my
about fucking
stand-up,
Italians.
Italians, y'all are niggas anyway.
We kind of are.
Come on, man. We like the same shit.
You
Big
ain't-
noses, gold chains, and Cadillacs, nigga.
Listen, you see how dark I am, right?
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
The Sicilians.
Fucking kinky hair.
Come on, baby.
You know what I mean? There's
I
always
love it.
been a love affair between.
Absolutely.
I hate love affair between blacks and Italians.
I always used to
but
say
we
it.
can't admit it.
Well,
But yet there's an attraction between us.
as I said on my first stand-up special, Hollywood
saw
Look,
you
I'm
doing-
Smiling.
yeah.
I just went, I don't understand, like, first of all the rappers embrace Italian culture.
Right.
Gangster
They
shit,
love it.
Gotti, fucking, Luciano.
Yeah.
But then old school Italians don't like niggas. And I don't
On the
understand because we didn't cut
surface.
from the same cloth.
On the surface. I'm telling you, deep down they do. I
wish-
think so. You know what I mean?
I wish they would show it.
But they keep up that there's a moronic type of Italian too. Some
Right.
of those kind of moronic kind of that kind of
Right.
accentuate that stereotype. But I think a lot of
love it.
Italians do.
I embrace the shit out of Italian culture. Pasta's my favorite food. My body's built by pasta, baby.
Yeah, come
We
on.
got the pizza
You
right
love
here.
fucking pizza.
Fucking, it's the fucking
You know, you go to a
best.
pizzeria, there's
Let me
always.
tell you, it's my fucking best. Fucking Mulberry's, this fucking guy. Who's this guy? Vito's. I'm gonna check it out. It's the fucking best. They don't go too crazy with the fucking cheese. Some of this, some of that. Come on, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, you know, you do a good Italian.
I love it, baby.
You do.
I love it.
You do. And
Yeah.
you were talking about, like, how Italians bring up things and only they understand, like,
Right.
they.
Like you talk about, they talk about Ebonics. Black people have Ebonics. We make up words that nobody understands. So do Italians.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck is Botius?
Yeah.
Yeah, when an Italian father's
Both
getting
is-
mad at his kids because
right.
they're getting on his nerves. Hey, knock it off. The fucking both of yous.
The both is.
Right. For a long time, and I've been black my whole life.
Right.
I didn't know what Ainin meant. Ainin. Like, man, what the fuck happened? Who stole my money? Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Ain means I ain't even. Italians, when you guys say health, you leave off the H. Hey, Nick, how's your fucking health?
Yeah. That's
what
true.
about your health?
Yeah.
The both of you and your wife, you should go down to Florida.
But it's fucking funny when
I
you
love
hear them
it.
talk with that.
I love it.
Right?
There's a passion
Yeah.
and an energy and an identity.
And I love, like, when I'm talking to an
Italians.
Italian
Yeah.
and you're explaining something to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting,
Yeah, there's a lot of some of the
And
hand,
yeah.
the hand gestures.
You're explaining something, but
Right.
tell me more. You know what I mean? And it's my own culture.
Like Nick, like if I'm an Italian guy and I go, Nick, let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you found out your daughter was getting fucked by a tizzone? How would that make you feel?
Yeah.
Fucking bother you, right?
Right.
My old man, he flipped the fuck out when he found out I was fucking a shine. Forget about it. Get the fuck out of here. My old man find out I'm buried under the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
Just like it's its own identity.
There's a scene in Mean Streets, that old movie like that,
Right.
and that was back in the '70s.
Right.
Keitel is at the bar, and there's this black chick with an afro, and she's doing a titty dance, and then he asks her basically to meet him somewhere in the village, and she's out there waiting in the dark, and then he's telling the cab driver, he sees her out there, and he goes, no, just drive by. And he goes, what am I gonna do? If I get caught in a Molinan, if I get caught with a Molinan, he goes like that in the village. In other words, like he'll be disgraced, you know.
Right.
But back then it was like
Do you
that.
think that, from a standpoint, true traditional, old school Italians are quicker to look down on interracial relations more so than black families? Because I think black families, we're quicker to be more accepting of that than traditional Italians.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the black family would be more accepting than some of these Italians, because the mentality is like, you know, it's forbidden.
Right.
You're not supposed to go that route.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some of them, like, if they have an open mind, you know what I mean? There's some like Franco Harris is like Italian and black. There's a couple of combination people like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Giancarlo Esposito. I mean, he's Italian and he's black.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought he had a cool fucking name.
Cool fucking name, Giancarlo Esposito.
But now
Where did you get that
I get
from?
it now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, black people, you know, we name our
But you can
kids Chryslers and Lexuses and
That's true.
medicinal medicines and
Yeah.
all kind of herpes medicines and shit. We black people, we
What
know
kind of
no
name you
boundaries.
got?
Well, Aries. It's God of War.
Aries.
That's simple.
Oh, okay.
I'm hireable.
You're-
Your name is Joaquin Tashawn III.
Yeah.
It could be a little tough. I want to parlay real quick just into something, since we on the race talk.
Yeah.
And first of all, thank you for having me.
Nah,
man.
thanks for coming out.
Because
Aries Spears in the house,
Thank you,
brother.
thank you, 'cause
Thank you, man. Fucking legend.
When it comes to the craft of acting, and I tell people, you know, look, I've done serious work, but I'm a comic in my heart. I
Right.
bleed comedy. But whenever I've had to do drama, I don't give a fuck how confident I may be about comedy. I get nervous because that's a different beast.
Right.
And dude, one of the greatest performances I've ever seen was you in Jungle Fever. Like, I really believed you were that dude.
Thank
and you
you.
sold the shit out of it. And so between that, and it'd be one thing if you go, well, you know, he's Italian, so that's easy to play. Well,
Right.
then cut to one of my favorite shows of all time, NYPD Blue.
Right.
Totally opposite of that guy.
Right.
And you sold that too.
Thank you.
So I respect it, man.
I appreciate
fucking
that.
respect it, dude.
Nah, Jungle Fever, you know, that was at a time when I just started acting. I mean, my first serious job was with Spike and Mo Better Blues, where I played this Jewish club owner. And, you know, it was my first time, man. I almost shit my pants. I'm working with my brother. I'm working with Denzel Washington.
All right,
I was
all
just
right,
like,
all
wow.
right.
And how I got that job was from screaming racial obscenities in a looping session with Spike.
Really?
And you know, Spike, then after that movie, I guess I proved myself, said, I got something better for you this
So
time.
you didn't even audition.
No, he goes, he wrote it for me. And he said, you're going to play this kid, Joey Farmer, or somebody based on this crazy, you know, prejudiced kid from Bensonhurst who did
Right.
some stupid shit. So I kind of knew that mentality. I knew the ignorance of those neighborhoods, but I didn't grow up in a neighborhood like that. My neighborhood was like Irish, German, Puerto Rican, a little Jewish, a black guy here or there. But I mean, you know, I knew that kind of mentality. But Bensonhurst, that was like a different world.
Right.
Like those kinds.
Especially in the 80s.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
I went over there with the girls that worked for Spike just to look at the neighborhood, and everybody was giving me fucking dirty looks.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Bensonhurst?
Yeah,
But they
we
thought
were-
you were Puerto Rican?
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, people have thought I've been Puerto Rican my whole life. It's fucked up.
Really?
Yeah,
Even
I
with
can.
the name Turturro?
It doesn't matter. Like, you know, you walk around and you could be perceived from a lot of different countries.
That is
I
wild.
didn't look clear cut like.
But are you 100% Italian?
Well, you know, from the DNA, we have a little mixture. You know, we might have a little black, a little Arabic in us. My brother did this shit, if you believe in DNA.
Right.
But we're basically Italian.
Because I would say that not knowing your last name and not knowing you from obviously the movies and stuff.
Right.
If I just saw you on the street, yeah, you got a guest kind of look.
Yeah.
You look like you could be Spanish. You look like you could be Italian. You
Right.
look like you could be Arab.
Right.
Not for sure.
Not for
Whereas
sure.
me, you know I'm 100%
Right.
Negro.
Right.
But yeah, holy shit, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. You know, that was like my first real serious role. So I had been preparing for it. I was so hungry. We rehearsed for like a month. You know, with Spike, we would improvise and we'd write all the improvisation into the fucking movie. Lines that people loved came right out of like the rehearsal process.
Right.
So when we did the movie, I was there. I was ready. Even my brother goes, your focus was off. And my brother said that, who's an intense fucking guy.
Oh, yeah.
I knew,
Yeah.
you know, I was bringing it. I brought it hard, and people saw that, and they were like, who's this guy? I remember when I auditioned for NYPD Blue, I think they saw some of that stuff, and they were like, wow, that was really impressive. And I was like, yeah, thanks, man. But I was just in it. I was just, I was new and I was doing it from my gut. You know what I mean? But I didn't even know how potent it was. I actually thought that could be a TV series, like that mentality, at the Brooklyn, Bensonhurst area.
Right.
That could have been like those scenes. It was almost like a movie within a movie.
Right.
That whole, with the black guy, black girl, and my brother, black and Italian. I mean, they did that with Wesley, but I thought the stuff with John and us.
Yeah, no, listen, man.
The ignorance, you know what I mean? The ignorance of that neighborhood.
Right.
Because those guys are like fucking really like stupid, in a lot of ways,
Right.
And you listen, we get that because that's what we heard. All that shit is taught.
Yeah.
All that mentality.
Yeah.
That's taboo. But it's all taught.
Right.
Once you get by that, you notice we're all just people. We might fucking look a little different, might smell a little different, but we're fucking people. Mm-hmm. But it's getting past that. But that really gave me, after that movie, it gave me a lot of confidence. It started building, like I was like, wow, maybe I can do this. Because people were like, yeah, you fucking brought it on the subway. Everybody was coming up to me. So I was like, when your peers like it and they remember it fucking 20, 30 years later, that means a lot.
Well, it's crazy too, because where we both can say we share this experience is, again, not to be like I'm, all over you, but I'm, saying what it is. Again, and I'm not, I think for people that may be watching this, if you know anything about me, I'm not in the ass-kissing business. So when I say something, it's from the heart. When I tell you, I only have maybe 4 favorite shows of all time. Sopranos, Sex and the City, Real Time with Bill Maher, and NYPD Blue. I got to and before I worked with him, I said to myself, God, I would love to work with this dude. He's so fucking intense. David Caruso.
Oh, man.
And I ended up working with him. I did, I think, 4 episodes of CSI Miami.
You did?
Now, here's what I'm getting to, and I'm certainly don't want you to throw your guy under the bus.
I ain't gonna throw him.
But here's what I'm trying to figure out.
I had a relationship with him. I'll tell you about him.
When I looked at NYPD Blue, I said, I want to work with him because he's so intense.
Right.
But then when I did CSI Miami, he was still intense, but it's a different intense.
Yeah.
And so much so that a lot of comics had fun at his expense. Jim Carrey.
Well, yeah, Jim Carrey was incredible.
And doing the whole,
but you know what?
Deliver a line.
I'm going to tell you something. What he did with those sunglasses, because those fucking shows, for all intents and purposes, they're not great shows. They're really not that great. They're not that even interesting. So to have the courage to go out there and do something like flipped out like that,
but
I'm just saying.
But did you think it was weird?
Yeah, it's weird. It's really like he made a conscious choice.
Because he caught a lot of shit from that.
It don't fucking matter. 9 years, the guy got back on television. He got rich on that.
Yeah.
He had the last laugh. After what he did, a lot of people don't get another chance.
Right.
When you leave something after 1 year that he was like the best actor on the planet.
Right.
So then he comes back years later, taking his glasses on and off, doing this stylized fucking kind of absurd acting. It was kind of like pseudo-absurd.
Right.
But in a lot of ways, I say it's fucking brilliant because who on any of those CSI shows or Law and Order shows
Do you remember?
Or would do something like,
Right.
I can't do the imitation, but maybe you can. But, he talking to the guy, not even looking at the fucking guy.
Right.
That's why Jim Carrey, who's a bright dude, was obsessed with it. He goes, I got to get David Caruso. He always puts the button. He always puts the button on the fucking scene. He kind of did that on NYPD Blue. But NYPD Blue, it was grounded.
Yes.
It was grounded.
So that's why when I did CSI Miami, I was happy because I was working with him.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed because I'm going.
Did he look at you in the scenes?
A couple.
Did he look at you?
A couple. Let me tell you what funny moment we had. In one particular scene, this is the scene where I die. I'm in the jail and I'm playing this convict who's supposed to be looking after his son while he's in there.
Yeah.
So in the scene where I die, one of the prisoners creates a bomb and the bomb goes off and I get caught in the blast. And David Caruso is holding me in his arms. And I've never done a death scene, so I'm kind of going off of what I've seen on TV. Mm-hmm. So I'm playing this is my last moments. I'm blanking out, and I guess I held on too long.
Right.
But then at one point, he goes, okay, die now. I go, oh.
He told you that?
Yeah.
Was he off camera when he said it?
No, he was on camera, but I think the way it was angled, he knew it wasn't on him.
Right.
It was such a close-up on me.
Oh, he knows.
He just went, die now. And I go, okay. And I died. and this is why I'm going, dude, when it comes to drama, I get nervous because it's like, with comedies,
Yeah.
I know how to look at a scene and feel a moment and go, if I do this right now, this will make it funny.
Yeah.
With drama, I don't know those same instincts. So when
he understands.
Before you answer, because you're a drama guy, and I've seen you do comedy too.
Well, I do comedy.
When I look at Denzel and I look at certain scenes in movies, certain choices that he makes, I'm going, you don't write that in the script.
No.
So I would love to go, what made you make that choice?
Caruso.
What made you go, when you look at your watch, instead of going like this like normal people, you look away and you go,
yeah.
Like what?
I have some theories. Well,
because that's brilliant to me.
Let me tell you something. Caruso is a minimalist. What I mean by a minimalist is he wants to do as little as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't want to be big. He wants to kind of be quiet. He wants to be subtle but minimal. You know what I mean? And he wants to be cool. And he was obsessed with Steve McQueen, who I love, by the way. But Steve McQueen was beautiful. Fucking handsome. I mean, Caruso's not that handsome. He will never be as handsome as...
Right.
But Caruso, because we were buddies, you know, he was obsessed with McQueen and those kind of guys that did, like, they do less than more. You know what I mean? So probably that's what he thought, like, hey, man, I could make, like, a Steve McQueen character out of this. I'll make him a fucking cool dude, and I won't look at anybody when I'm talking to them. And occasionally I might make eye contact. So maybe that's what he probably came up with, because he wanted to be a movie star.
Yeah.
You understand? He didn't want to be a TV star.
Right.
When we first got on NYPD Blue, he would bring me into his trailer and he would talk all kinds of shit with me and he'd say, hey, Nick, we got to get back to the big screen. I go, get back to what? I was just newly on TV with you. You know, you're blowing up. I'm like, get back to what, David?
Right.
He goes, yeah, because, you know, the little screen. He thought like what we were doing was diminished. But it was like feature television.
Are you fucking kidding
I'm just
me?
telling you, that's what he like.
That's crazy.
I mean,
that's a great problem to have, that's your issue.
He was brilliant on the show.
Yes.
Brilliant. You know what I mean? I remember coming over to him for advice early on. I was like, I wasn't doing very much. I was wondering, do I suck? I hope they like me. I hope they don't fucking fire me or whatever.
Here's the brilliance of what you're saying about him. Like, and to total contrast, when you would look at Dennis Franz as Andy Sipowicz. Now, he could say, I'm going to beat the shit out you and be big.
He's a different kind of actor.
Right, but here's what I'm getting at. But here's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He could bark loud,
yeah,
which is what his character was,
yeah,
and it was intense.
Yes.
Caruso could say the same thing and go, I'm going to close that door, and I'm going to give you the worst beating you've ever had.
Right.
That quiet.
Yeah.
That small.
Yeah, but with the same...
you felt it.
But the same intensity.
Yes.
And he knew how to manipulate the camera too. He knew how to control scenes too. You know, he was very, I'm not saying deliberate, but he was also very competitive too. You know, like he wanted to, like he's the kind of guy, like if you had a scene with him,
right,
and he liked me, and if I had a scene, then I wasn't trying to look better in the scene. I'm just trying to do good with you in the scene.
Right.
To me, it's about, if you're fucking good, you make me good.
Right.
So together, it's not about like us winning in the scene,
right,
but a lot of times he wanted to come out looking better than the other. You know, and that's a weird thing, because one time we had a great scene where he's giving me all this advice. It was the last scene in the show, and I was like a virgin on the show, and I was like, okay,
that
but the vulnerability of me, and maybe because I was young and I'm not saying it was a great scene.
Was it the episode where the guy pushed the guy off the banister?
No, it's where he was like going to beat a guy and all this stuff, or he did beat a guy. And at the end of the show, I asked him, like, when do you know? Because my character was like kind of a rookie, detective. And when do you know when to hit a guy, not to hit a guy?
Right.
You know, we had some great moments.
Yeah.
And he loved working with me because he felt like I wasn't always a threat to him.
Right.
You know, other guys that he was very competitive with, with Dennis and some of these guys, even though they had great chemistry. And he was wonderful in the show.
Right.
But, like he told me a story, like he worked with De Niro, and he told me De Niro hated him.
Really?
Yeah, and he was good in the movie. It was called Mad Dog and Glory. And I actually offered the role to my brother, and my brother couldn't do it, and they fucking Caruso got hired, and,
Did he say why De Niro hated him?
He told me, he's like, because we both love De Niro. We were talking about De Niro, and he goes, he fucking hated me. And I have probably got reasons why, because he probably tried to, you can't push somebody like that around. And I listen.
Push De Niro around?
Well, not push him around physically, but some people can try to take over. They try to be like controlling or whatever.
Right.
I don't know if he kind of got that hit off of him. Like, on NYPD Blue, there was a lot of shit. It's all documented, whatever. And some of it is true and some of it, whatever. But I mean, he told me, he took him on the side one time and he said, "You are fucking this movie up. You are so over the fucking top." And David's good in the movie. He plays a cop. He's really good. It helped him get the NYPD Blue job. But I guess Bob didn't like maybe some of his characteristics, not as an actor, but as, some of his antics.
Okay.
And he's like, "I'm going to stop that guy dead in his tracks." You know what I mean? Like you could be I haven't worked, but I've heard Bob is very generous. But if he feels like I don't know what happened or why. Maybe he just didn't. But who knows? Maybe he just didn't like him.
Right.
Sometimes somebody doesn't like you. It happens. There are people that don't like me.
In your personal opinion, because, and for all the stories I read,
and he's good in the movie.
Right.
He's really good in that.
Well,
movie.
listen, his first movie that he thought was going to make him what was it, Kiss of Death? With Nicolas Cage.
That was his
and Michael
first movie in his hiatus.
I thought that was a great fucking movie. Am I crazy?
I
thought it was a great movie.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was kind of flat, the movie. The movie was flat, and I've seen him in Mad Dog and Glory. He was much better. I saw him in this movie China Girl with James Russo. When I first discovered Caruso, I liked him. I was like, I like this fucking guy. I like this redheaded guy. But that movie, it wasn't maybe all his fault. Maybe the script wasn't great. Wow. Maybe he didn't jump off the big screen like he jumped off the little screen. Movies are hard. It wasn't a great movie. No disrespect to you. If you liked it, you liked it. And listen, I'm not it's my opinion. It wasn't a great movie. And it was his first movie being the lead on the big screen. And I just felt like, if he had done a few more years on NYPD Blue and maybe done a few movies, maybe he would have found the right role. Maybe he wasn't a leading man on the big screen. Maybe he was better as a character guy on the big screen. I don't know. It's like it took George Clooney a while, but he did 4 years on. George Clooney did a bunch of years before he started doing movies. David wanted to be like fucking, like I said, he wanted to be Steve McQueen. And he was huge on NYPD Blue. Now, that first movie that he did, I thought was kind of like, it wasn't nowhere near as exciting of what he was doing on Blue. And that happens, because sometimes you go and do something else and you expect it to be up to the level of what you were doing on TV, and then when it doesn't topple that, you go, well, it was kind of a...
I would fucking
he's an interesting dude.
Blue, man.
He's an interesting... and I loved him. I used to take him under my fucking wings.
Listen, when we did CSI, and I had to make it a point to say to him, like I said to you, Mr. Caruso, fucking hats off. This is an honor.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
But I could also feel
but
where
it's also all about him.
Right. And I could feel where I couldn't.
In the end.
He wasn't as open as you are.
No.
Like I met you at a fucking pizza place.
He loved me. You met me in a pizza place. I am what I am. If you meet me down the street in my underwear, that's what the fuck you met. You met a guy in his underwear.
New York Italians, baby. I miss this shit.
Yeah, there's no fucking...
uncut cocaine right here.
I am what I am. And I mean, he used to even try to compare me with my brother and go, your brother's great, but fucking there's something about you. There's something about you. I think he genuinely did like me because maybe I was just really, honest with him or whatever. But he was also, he also had his own agenda and shit like that. Years later, he came to see a pilot of mine. He fucking loved the pilot. Loved it. He was almost like in tears. It almost got on the air, whatever. It didn't. And then he was like struggling a little bit. And then he wrote this cop show. He goes, I'm writing something, because he was a good writer too, I guess. And it was a pretty good pilot. And I was helping him shop it. I fucking took him to UTA. I screamed at a fucking agent in the room and he loved it. He goes, who would have ever thought Turturro would be the bad guy? I went to bat for him. This wasn't even my show. I was trying to sell the fucking show. Next thing you know, he gets on fucking CSI, he catches a break, and what does that mean? What does that mean?
Banfagu.
No, what does that mean?
Fuck you.
That means, fuck, but I don't know you. Hey, Dave,
it ain't good.
Hey, Dave,
this ain't good.
They were doing a spin-off. You think maybe you could put a word in? I'm not saying you got to throw me a bone.
Okay, let me stop you for a second.
On.
Let me take over.
That's the difference between me and him.
Okay, let me take over for a second, because I got to say this.
But that's all right.
Now,
but I still have love for the guy.
And this ain't no cheap segue into
And I still have love for him, and I would work with him. But, you know.
Okay, this ain't no cheap segue.
He's not me.
Into me trying to promote my own podcast, because I will do that on here before we go.
No, you can promote whatever you want to
Let me
promote.
just say something. Here's why I catch a lot of flack. Me, the comedian / Aries Spears, the person. Because again, I'm from New York. I'm not, as much as I'm in this Hollywood game, I'm not in this Hollywood game.
This fucking ruined it, this fucking thing.
What, the Red Bull?
Oh, my
Well,
God.
then put your dick on the table. Go straight with the vodka then.
Yeah, fuck that here.
There we
pour
go.
This in that, pour that fucking thing. Bring me on. Bring me that thing back. Your glass.
What, my glass?
I'll pour it in here.
There we go.
I don't want this fucking Red Bull. That's horrible. Just put the fucking Tito's vodka right
There we go.
Yeah.
Who the
Ice
fuck
or
knew?
no? Who the fuck knew? That's good.
All right. So listen,
All right. Put your
very rarely do guys in this business, very rarely in life, but particularly in show business, do people tell you how they really feel. They're always worried about the next gig, which I understand. You got
No,
bills
you brought
to
up
pay.
Caruso. It was very personal.
No,
for
no,
me.
I know,
You know what I mean?
but the fact that you show, the fact that you were honest, and what I appreciated was the fact that you went, yo, man, you wrote this pilot. Could you give your boy a call? And it's almost like, if you say shit like that, it's frowned upon. Like somehow you're demonized for saying what you really feel
Sometimes.
and think
Sometimes.
about this game.
Right.
And this showbiz thing, I have such a love-hate relationship for this business.
Oh, I
Because I
know.
say, listen, man,
I know.
when it's great,
Oh, it's great.
there's nothing
Yeah, everybody
like it.
loves you. Everybody.
The food, the whores.
I've been there. I tasted it in my
everything.
life.
But when it ain't working for you,
And you're all alone, and it's
this
just you.
motherfucker, you
Yeah.
start having
Oh,
cocaine gun thoughts.
I don't have that, but
I'm not saying you
but
do
I've been
it.
there. Yeah.
I'm not saying you
Yeah.
do it.
No, I don't do
but,
that,
But
but
I
I
would never
mean-
do it.
Yeah.
But I've had moments, man, dark moments, where I just thought about either getting high or taking myself out.
Yeah.
But you don't do it.
Because it's a very bullshit business.
Oh,
And there's nothing real about it. You know, it's called show business. But it's you know, when you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're fucking not. And people forget, you know? People do forget. They forget a lot, you know? And like now, well, the way the world is, it's not even about anything anymore. It's not about what's good. It's not about this. I mean, I have talks with my son. We're trying to sell a fucking show. And we're on the way over here trying to discuss what we need to do to sell this motherfucker. Oh, we got to change the narrative. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, they're not buying me. They're not buying this. It's fucking insane. It's not even about what's good
this
anymore.
business is high school.
It is high school.
Cool kids sit with the cool
It is
kids.
high
the jocks
school.
with the jocks. It's high school.
That's what it's called.
It's high school.
High school. All right, cut that part.
Why is he saying?
I didn't give nothing away. Did I give anything away?
Is
Did
that
I
the
give
show?
anything? No.
Okay. I'm just saying it's clicks. When I hear people go
It is clicks.
A-list.
You know my brother calls this town L.A. high school. That's why he would never
Let me
live
tell you
here.
something, man. When
He's
I-
an intense dude. That dude, not because he's my brother.
Right.
That's the real deal.
Right.
He's probably the most. He's what every actor's career wants to be.
Wants to be.
He's probably turned down the biggest movies of the '90s and the 2000s.
Let me tell you
Because
something.
he's not only a great actor, the fucking guy lives in Brooklyn in a brownstone. He's put on a pedestal, but yet he's never been nominated for a fucking Oscar because he's not in this community.
He's like the Nas of acting.
Yeah, he's the Nas of acting.
yeah.
He's had enough money that he's
And enough
comfortable
respect.
and respect, but
Right.
he never sold his soul. He could be out here living like a king, and I could be part of it, but he won't.
Right.
So you know, God bless. But that was me. I'd be fucking. You know, I'm a different kind of guy. But
You
I
know,
mean,
it's
but,
funny
but
when-
I just say he's my idol. Even as my
when the
you know, when I was little.
trolls and the people that are less than say that you're washed up, and I'm not meaning you, I'm meaning just in general. When
Anybody?
they say, right.
Or over the hill
And they
or
say,
whatever.
right.
No, you ain't over the hill.
But
Neither am I.
they say that, and you go, yeah, you're not A-list. You're a C-list celebrity. And I'm just going,
Yeah.
again, what does one's talent
Yeah.
have to do with your grade? Just because I'm not A-list don't mean I don't have A-list talent.
No.
To become A-list,
What about your body
that's-
of work?
That's part of the political
Yeah.
landscape of
Right.
Hollywood,
Right.
which is when they decide you're cool enough to sit at this table, come sit at the table.
Exactly.
I don't need you to tell me
But it's
whether
perception, right?
it is, but it's a jaded perception.
It is.
Like I don't
Like
need you
you've
to,
been around a
Come
long
on,
time,
man. 30
right?
years.
30 fucking years.
30 years.
And you were probably at one time, you know, one of the hottest young comics coming up, right? Mm-hmm. And now, you know, you've made a living at it, but you've probably seen the fucking highs
and
and
flows,
lows.
yeah.
And it's fucking weird today, probably, how people The people that know you, like, wow, this guy
Right.
did something.
Right.
Then these other young fucking kids are like,
Well, here's the one thing one of my agents told me. He said, the one thing about show business that's so beautiful, he said, dude, you could be Hitler. If you can open a movie, you got a career.
right,
You know, now, as sick as that sounds, that's the reality of show business.
Right.
Chris Rock had another great quote. He goes, the worst job in show business is better than the best job out of it.
the worst job in show business.
It's better than the best job out of it. Now, I don't know that I buy that 100%.
I don't know if I buy that.
But I get where he's coming from.
I understand that.
Because I'd be sick to my stomach if I had to become rich playing the Nickelodeon TV dad.
You
where
would
my
be.
comedy is pratfalls and
Right.
silly shit. Bump, 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 bump. My comedy is Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Chris
Right.
Rock, Dave Chappelle.
That's your
But if
comedy.
I got to play the goofy dad going,
Right.
huh? I'd be rich. But I
Yeah,
fucking hate it.
I know.
You know what I mean? So I get what he's saying. That's a
Yeah.
good gig.
I know. But it's easy to say that when you're Chris Rock.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to say that when you're on top of the fucking world. It's really easy to say that when you have leverage. Let me see you say that when you're nobody. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or you're struggling. You try to make a living. I mean,
Right.
I don't knock some of these people, but some people do everything, do anything and everything.
Like I said, man, I would give a fucking pinky, dude, to have done NYPD Blue. One of my fantasies is just do a movie, a show set in the city.
Yeah.
That energy,
Oh, it's
the
great.
people, the vibe.
know.
New York brings its own celebrity.
I didn't even know how good it was when I was doing it. A lot of times I think back to like, where the fuck was I when I was doing that? Did I realize what I really had? Not really had, what I was doing, what I was
Right.
in. I was kind of in it, and I didn't know, like, you know, once that ended, what life would be like for me. Yeah, I didn't go to full 12 years, but there are reasons why and this and that, but I was there when it was a championship team.
Oh.
I was there when it was,
Oh.
you know, because shows get old and shows get watered down. In those later years, it didn't look like
What it was.
the team the show I was on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that, you know, you sometimes you just go, wow, it was fucking really exciting. And I
Yeah.
think when you're in it, you're in it. You just don't. It's not that you didn't appreciate it. It's just you don't realize.
You don't know what you had till
Yeah,
it's
you,
gone,
you
baby.
don't know. You know, like I was doing this other show for a few years. I wasn't a regular, but I was reoccurring on his Blue Bloods. And that's been going for 9-10 years. God bless them.
Right.
I did 3-4 years, but I was like, dude, man, I fucking worked on a championship team. So I'm older, I'm a veteran. I made my own character. I created my own I put my own spin on things.
Right.
But I worked with the best of the best when I was just a kid. And that keeps you like on edge.
Yeah.
When you work with great people.
Oh, yeah.
You want to work with people. I'm not saying better than you, but people that know more than you. People
There's
that
nothing more satisfying
Sure.
than knowing the chemistry of someone you work with. So you're like Magic Johnson throwing a no-look to Worthy.
Right.
I know where you're going to be.
Right.
I don't have to tell you to get
Exactly.
to the spot. Brother,
yes,
that's
that's a high.
oh, goodness.
That's a high.
Oh,
And you know,
goodness.
I'd like to feel like that again today. I mean, I've been in some great movies. I was in The Black Klansman last year, which was a dynamite movie. And I didn't know it was going to be that big of a hit. I came on towards the end of the movie, but a memorable
Right.
role. But, you know, it's nice when you really like have a stake in something and it was special. I mean, there's been a few things in my life that I know, like, wow, looking back, you go, you got to be proud of the work you did. Because a lot of times you forget because you're trying to get back. You know, you're
Yeah.
trying to fucking, whatever, reinvent yourself or whatever. You know, whatever the word is. It's just a different world today.
Right.
A different fucking world.
Let's talk sports, man.
Yeah, let's talk sports. I was just about to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough of this fucking
I know
show
you're a
business.
baseball guy, right?
I'm a huge baseball guy.
I catch a lot of flack because you can't see it now, but
Always wearing
once
that Yankee hat.
Dude, I'm from New York, so I will never not wear a Yankee cap. If you try to get me to wear a Mets hat, I'm punching your face with a ball-peen hammer. And I wear my Tim boots, which I don't have on now because I'm 44, so I got to get comfortable. But
Right.
whenever you see me in public, brother, I'm always Timbs and Speedo, Timbs and a baseball cap. I wear Timbs with Speedos at the beach. I don't give a fuck if it's 400 degrees out.
So Tim's is your thing.
Timbs, but I'm not a baseball dude.
That's okay.
And listen,
It's funny. A lot of guys that are not baseball dudes rep the Yankee cap. Why? Because
Well,
it's like the greatest cap in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
That fucking NY is beautiful.
But baseball.
Why don't you like baseball? Do you know anything about it?
Outside of golf, it's the most boring sport ever to watch.
Why?
There's not enough action. It's the action couldn't be slower.
Have you been to a game in person?
Never. But I can't imagine that it would translate any more exciting
Yes, it
in
would.
person.
Yes, it would.
Baseball is the side bitch to football.
I don't agree with that.
When
but
I was
go ahead.
doing
But
best
let
damn
me ask you something. But what's so fucking exciting about
Football?
Football.
And I'm not a
Now, wait
football
minute,
dude.
Wait a minute. And
I'm not a football dude.
I mean, to me, I think basketball is more exciting than football.
Yes, it is. That's my number one. I only mention football because football in the lexicon
In America, has become.
it's blasphemous to say you don't like football. Let me tell
I
you a
didn't
great
say
quote.
I didn't like football.
but okay.
I just said I'm not in love with football.
Let me give you a great quote. When I used to do the Best Damn Sports Show, and back when you were talking about when you were on a championship team,
Right.
before they changed their roster, when it was John Sally, Michael Irvin, John Kruk, and Chris Rose,
Right.
and Tom Arnold.
Okay.
They had me on the show for like a 2
I
month
auditioned
run.
for that show.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had me on for a 2 month
Got hit
run.
in the knee with a baseball bat by Jim Lampley.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's another story.
That's funny.
Fuck it.
Some of the most exciting shit that was ever said was in the pre-meetings, talking about what we're going to discuss for the show.
Right.
And John Kruk and Michael Irvin get into a heated debate about baseball versus football. And John Kruk goes, well, you remember something, Michael? Baseball is America's pastime. And Michael Irvin goes, baseball might be America's pastime, but football is America's passion.
Oh, he
And I
said that? Michael
summed
Irvin
it
said
up.
that?
That summed it up. Something about football, man. And I'm not my love for football doesn't extend past me playing Madden on PlayStation. Other than that, I'm not a football guy. I am boxing and basketball.
But you said something about baseball. You said, you never even been to a game in person, so you don't really know baseball.
Okay, but if I'm sitting there in person,
But if you were sitting there with me,
Yankees, that's different.
Okay, if you were sitting there with me,
That's different.
Even if we
You'd
sat,
be more exciting than the game.
but then you might start to understand the game if you saw it through my eyes. If you understand what I'm looking at. If you were watching a game on the couch or a good game, and you went through if you had you had the stamina to sit there and watch, you might really go, wow, there's more to this game than I thought.
You said stamina. It's like baseball is supposed to be long, pleasing sex.
Well,
Give me basketball with 2 squirts and
what's
I'm
wrong
done.
with long pleasing sex?
Nothing, but I'm
What's
44.
wrong with taking
I
your
gotta
time?
ice my knees now.
I know.
I'm retired.
But don't you want to just not get in and get out?
Yes, I want to get in and get out.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen,
now-
I can get quicker than the pizza.
Yeah, but what's gratifying about that?
Pizza?
I want to take my time, walk around, observe, admire the beauty of it,
Of the game or the pussy?
of everything.
Oh.
Of everything, right? I mean, get in, get out. You have to do it because, I didn't want to get it over with.
Listen, I care about pleasing a woman in my 20s. I'm an old veteran now, bitch. I'm going to scream your
Sure,
name
you're an old
twice.
veteran, right?
And if you don't answer, I'm scratching you off the clipboard.
Yeah?
It's that serious.
You're not
We had a
married.
team meeting.
Well, if you were married, it'd be different.
Fuck that. I've been married.
Oh, you've
I'm
been
divorced
married.
twice, same
Oh,
woman,
okay.
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well, no, I mean, sex was great. It was the other shit. She was crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, baseball, I just watch it and I go, okay, if I'm sitting there, even Yankee Stadium, fucking let's say Game 7 of the World Series, I'm watching the same shit that I would be watching on TV.
Yeah, but it's different.
Really?
It is different because pitch to pitch is different. The strategy, the stress, the mental because you don't understand the game. You're not really appreciating like an at bat. Like you say, okay, what does that mean? Okay, the count is 3-1 versus 1-2. It's a whole different set of fucking.
And in person, it's just insane.
Yeah, it's just insane. The crack of the bat.
Just think of it like this. You think it's impressive that you can hit a 100-mile-an-hour baseball from 60 feet away?
Yeah.
So in person, imagine watching Aroldis Chapman, who's the closer of the Yankees, who's the most electric arm as a closer, go up against, let's say, Mike Trout, who's the best baseball player, and they went head-to-head, him throwing 101, 3 pitches in a row. The guy who's the best hitter in baseball. That's fun.
But you know what?
That's insane to watch.
But that's
in
like a
person.
musket shot. After that moment is over, the reload is a motherfucker.
No, it's not.
When's the next time another great moment comes up like that? After that moment is over.
You never know.
No, you don't know.
You don't, but in basketball, you know it's consistent.
What, that the Warriors are just going to chuck up threes and always make it? So that's
No,
consistent?
that the action is back and forth nonstop.
Not
So you might be
necessarily.
able to see, some threes, but also some put-back dunks, some no-look passes, some other fancy shit going on. The action is non-stop. With baseball, you might get a great moment every now and then.
No, you get a lot of great moments.
But you could say that about all sports. It's
No.
yes, you can.
I mean, listen, a boring fight is a boring fight.
yeah, like in boxing, you could have a war with Pacquiao and Marquez, but then both of them will get outboxed by Mayweather. Is there action in every time there's a fight?
How old is he?
He's 20. He knows his shit. I taught him well. Fucking bright, let me tell you.
I'm just gonna
He
defend
educates
baseball.
me on a lot of
Oh,
shit.
no.
If you listen to him,
Well, for me to take
he
him
makes
seriously,
fucking
first,
sense.
Well, if I'm gonna take him seriously, first things first, uncross your legs, young man.
hey, that's
We're
my
men
son.
drinking beers and liquors.
Listen.
Uncross your legs.
Listen, I taught him the game of baseball well, and he understands it from a lot of levels. Boxing, he knows how to box. He understands that. I mean, football, he's a football fan, but basketball, listen, it's an
Here's what you got to do for me. One day, take me to a game,
I'll take you to a game.
and I want to see. You might change my mind.
And you watch the
Don't
game
even
with
take
me.
him to a Yankee game. Just take him to a Dodger
I'll just take
game.
you to a game, and we'll sit, and then we'll talk it through. And not that I'm like it's going to be class, but you'll see.
Hey, that will make it fun for me is the fact that it won't.
Yeah, because you probably don't understand what you're really looking at and what makes it like. Why is Nick so excited watching this? And before
I've seen clips where you've getting passionate.
Oh yeah, I get really passionate.
The most mental game ever.
And it's very emotional, but in a different.
Mental more than golf?
No, golf is different. Golf is really like, that's a different breed. Golf, that's a talent, but it's different than baseball.
But it's still extremely mental.
I don't know if you ever heard of late great comedian Patrice O'Neal, one of the greatest comics of all time.
Sounds familiar.
Okay, dude out of Boston. But he said something about he doesn't consider golf a sport because nothing can be a sport if there's no one trying to stop you from doing something.
I agree with that. I used to have wars with my friend who played fucking pool.
Right.
I said, "You're a fucking pool player, Harry. You don't know shit about sports. You're not a fucking athlete. You could be a fucking, a spastic and hit a golf ball.
Right,
It's not really a sport. It's a
Right.
game.
right.
That's what it is. It is a game.
Gotcha.
The baseball's a sport.
Gotcha.
You got to fucking run. You got to be athletic.
Have you ever
Football.
played baseball?
Yes, I play. I started late. I was a homemade player.
Is that right?
I started late. I started like at 12, 13, and I played like in the Babe Ruth League, which was like, what would you call that? Equivalent to.
That's like pony ball.
Yeah, beyond. So I didn't start in Little
Right.
League. So I had to learn like on the fly, and I had weird methods, how to catch a fly ball, but I was good. I was
Yeah.
good. I mean, people were like, "You're kind of odd out there, but you get the job done." I knew how to track fly balls. I
Right.
didn't have much of an arm, but I wasn't a bad hitter. I wasn't. He's got better hand-eye coordination than me, but he didn't love it as much.
I mean, I used to play when
Now,
I was a
fucking Michael
kid.
Jordan couldn't play it. He wanted to play. Loved baseball. I mean, he played in the minor leagues. He couldn't cut the mustard.
Yeah,
You,
but
you got to think about it too.
Tell
So,
me.
like,
he was born and bred for basketball.
Well, we know that.
Yeah, yeah.
But he loved baseball.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson loves baseball, but he can throw the fucking football.
Right.
He's a great quarterback.
Right.
You got to think of it like this. Like, okay, obviously this
Different
is,
breed.
This is like a
Right.
different way of. This is some people may say this is ignorant, but there's some truth to this. People who are like linemen in football, pretty much you need to be big, you need to be aggressive, and you need to be able to just listen to direction and like block the quarterback and protect him or rush.
Right.
In baseball, you actually have to be skilled at what you do. Not that you don't there, but you actually need to have certain skills to play the sport.
Right.
Like, so for example, I have a lot of friends who are Tongans and Samoans.
Right.
And for what I'm told is that the ones who are going to be D linemen or O linemen when they're in high school, they don't put them into football until they're in high school because they don't want to burn them out. And there's not much for them to teach. They just need to be in shape and they need to understand what they have to do.
Right.
So, but in baseball, if you're not playing from the age of like 6, that's considered extremely late. And if you're not a phenom by maybe 12,
Yeah.
you're probably not gonna
Right.
excel into further grounds.
That's a good-looking boy. How much pussy does he get?
He doesn't tell me. We don't talk
That's a
about that, but
good-looking
he's
boy,
Filipino and Italian. His mom's
Yeah, he's a
beautiful.
good-looking boy,
Yeah,
man.
handsome boy.
I mean, he looked like a
He
young
don't want-
Aquaman.
Yeah, yeah, he's good looking. See, we need a comic on the show to always come in with a joke like that.
Dude, listen, I've tried to play baseball and just sitting there in that outfield waiting.
You know how to catch
and
a fly ball?
hoping that something comes to you.
But do you know how to catch a fly ball?
I've caught a few.
Yeah, but I mean, do you understand, like...
I'm sure it's the same mechanics as timing a rebound.
Well, like on a fly ball, what's your first step? In or out? Like if you're playing the outfield, right? Boom, I hit you a fly ball. Do you make a move to go in or you go out first?
Wouldn't it matter based on how the ball's coming to you?
No, but you should step back first to gauge, because it's easy to come in. So if you make your first step back and you got to come in, it's easier. And if you make the first step and you realize you got to keep going, then you can keep going.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so you got to be like here, you come in, and then it's easy to go back.
Right.
I mean, so it's better to step back, easy to come in, I meant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, it's tricky.
Right.
It's not you just stand there and the fucking ball, you got to adjust.
Yeah.
It's not easy to gauge that shit either, because, you got to see, like, wow, dude, did I read it well? Did I get a good jump?
Right.
You know what I mean by a good jump, right?
Not really.
Okay, a good jump means like, guy hits a fucking ball, like gets a ball to, like last night, the guy was playing over in right center field, Aaron Hicks on the Yankees. For some reason, they had him shifting to right center field instead of just playing his position at center. And the guy hit the ball straight, almost not straight, but a little towards left center. Right. He had to run backtrack and dive, couldn't catch a ball that normally, without a fucking shift, would have been caught. So, I mean, you got to read it off the crack of the bat. You got to read the ball to see, do I go back or do I come in or which way do I go? So, I mean, getting a jump on the ball means you got to get going off the crack of the bat.
Right.
If you don't know how to read a ball, you're fucked. The good outfielders, they may not even be that fast, but they can fucking track.
You know how they say greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan. What would you say the greatest baseball player of all time is? Or can you even name such a thing?
It's too hard.
It's too hard.
So Willie Mays,
Hank
Aaron.
You could say Willie Mays, conceivably all around, could throw, could catch, could run. Roberto Clemente could do all those things
people
well.
That think there's people that make an argument. I don't agree with it, but there's people that make an argument that Barry Bonds is the best of all time. I don't agree with that, but
isn't that an asterisk because of the steroids?
Yeah,
but
he has an asterisk.
pre-steroids,
But skinny Barry Bonds could have been maybe, conceivably, arguably could have been. He had the talent to be like maybe, one of the greatest of all time. But it's all subjective. It's all, like a guy. I didn't see Joe DiMaggio play. I didn't see Willie Mays. I've only seen highlights of Willie Mays.
Right.
So it's hard to say the greatest of all time. I mean, I could say for what I saw, if you asked me like the greatest catcher I ever saw with my eyes, the eye test, not just numbers, I can give you certain positions that I think, but some guy might disagree. I could say Mike Schmidt to me is probably all around the greatest third baseman. Power, defense, this, that. I mean, George Brett might be the best hitter I ever saw, but all around I might take Mike Schmidt. Or Johnny Bench probably, arguably, maybe the best catcher, hitting and catching of all time. Right. But, some guy may argue. I get into arguments with kids today about basketball. I almost get into fist fights with his friends because they try to knock. When I watch basketball in the 80s and 90s, they tell me these fucking guys played a bunch of mailmen.
Oh, now we get into my territory.
Yeah, now let's switch over. Now, you tell them about that. Like, that fucking angers me.
Billy from Van Nuys?
That angers me because I'm
Play with a bunch of plumbers and truck drivers.
Plumbers. I said, you don't fucking know. These guys are pussies today.
First of all,
in the NBA. They're pussies.
First of all.
Come on.
Just the fact that the game was more physical.
Right.
When you look at the bad boys, when you look at the 90s Knicks, you couldn't dare go into paint without getting a collarbone broken.
Fucking crushed.
All right. And
what
then
would they have done to like guys like Curry? They would have threw those guys in the crowd.
And then on top of that, all these plumbers and truck drivers you're talking about,
right?
Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing.
These guys were fucking
Charles
great
Barkley,
basketball players.
Drexler, all Hall of Famers.
Yes.
So where that comes from, this is why the youth, God bless you motherfuckers, but y'all are destroying what it means to be a man. I came up in the 80s as a kid where boys had their own cartoons.
Yeah.
The Thundercats, He-Man, Bionic Six, Silverhawks. It's sad. This is a moist era now.
No, it's a video game era.
And I don't mind that because I'm a video game player.
Oh, you are. Yeah.
I'm a fiend.
Right.
But the level of moisture now is too much.
Yeah.
And to political correctness.
Oh yeah, it's like Billy from Van Nuys. He talks a lot of shit.
Now who's Billy? His friend?
He's his buddy.
Billy's
He's my buddy
friend
too.
Who
you know,
was a scholar.
How old is
he was
he?
an
Same age?
athlete.
My age.
He
Scholar,
was an athlete.
scholar,
Good athlete.
Played with all D1 players in high school.
could play hoops,
every sport. He
basketball,
was a savage
football,
at everything.
savage.
Right.
But
Savage
his
white
mind
kid.
for debating is very.
But for
is very-
somebody, but here's what's crazy
great.
about that. For somebody who's so good at basketball, you can't make a statement like that.
Well, so
Yeah.
I didn't finish.
It's
what I was-
ignorant.
I
if
didn't
you've
fin-
done your
Yeah.
homework,
If you've done your homework, it's ignorant.
So I didn't finish what I was gonna say. So because he knows how to piss him off,
so
but he's a great arguer. So like he could be like a politician or a lawyer.
He likes
'cause
to
that's
get-
how good
Yeah.
he knows how to phrase.
He can. What is it? Like? He's an instigator.
put
Like,
the motherfucker up against me.
Yeah.
He knows how to phrase
yeah.
things.
Let's get Aries.
That's why he gets
Listen,
mad at
that's
him.
like, listen,
No.
my era for boxing was Tyson. I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 75.
Right.
I didn't see Muhammad Ali, but I have such a
did.
love for boxing.
Right.
And I've seen every piece of documentary fight footage ever on Ali. There's
Right.
nothing I haven't seen you haven't seen.
Man, I've seen it all.
And I respect it. I said, if I ever got a chance
Exactly.
to come, if I ever
That's why I'm mad at him, to respect it. Go ahead.
if I ever got a chance to come back in this life, like if you died and God said to you, look, you can come back as you, but in whatever era you choose. I would love to experience in my prime the 70s.
Oh, it's the best.
AIDS-free sex,
Yes.
cocaine, and
Right.
the music,
The
and
music,
Ali.
the clothes,
Ali
Ali.
in his prime.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
Come on,
The
Ken
cars,
Norton.
the 70s, nothing coming near. The movies in the 70s are incredible. Music in the 70s, like you said, fucking everything. Everything in the 70s is the best.
Pre-AIDS.
It's the
Studio
fucking
54.
baseball uniforms, the fucking Oakland swinging A's. The baseball fucking uniforms are incredible.
That's when boxers back in them days, all them heavyweights was shiny.
French Connection.
Greasy.
The
They look like they
Godfather.
oiled up.
Taxi Driver.
There was the-
Rocky.
Oh.
I can name every fucking movie going in the 70s. Get the fuck out of here. Can you name 10 years like that? I wish I was fucking working in the 70s. I came along in the wrong era.
We should be 2 cab drivers in the 70s in New York. It would be fucking great.
Hey, get
my
me
God.
going
Try to
because
rob us
that's
from
my-
the back. We scared the shit out you.
I'm glad I experienced it. I'm glad I
No,
experienced
when were
it.
you born?
I was born in 62. I'm
Okay,
57.
62.
I'm a little older than you.
Okay, 62, 72.
What are you born in, 71?
75.
75?
Yeah.
It's not a bad year. There was a lot of gas crunch that year.
Like I said, I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
80s was my era.
Yeah,
The only thing
you're
that-
an 80s kid.
Yeah.
That ladies, I nothing against you. It's just a little fucked up time that.
You know what? It was the
not your fault.
It was in between. It was between the 70s
Yeah,
and the 90s.
it was fucked up. It couldn't find itself. But it's interesting.
But there was great moments.
But it's interesting. Yes, there's
Right,
good moments
right.
in the 80s. But it was, you know what I mean? It was fucked
No,
up.
no, no, it
Like
was
the 90s
shoulder
got,
pads
yeah,
and-
they got it together in the 90s.
the 90s and on.
Like I turned him on to now like New Edition, all this, because he's a big music guy now.
Yeah.
Raps, DJ. He loves all this fucking Bobby Brown, New Edition. That's 90s,
Let me tell you something,
baby.
man.
90s.
Here's what you give the kids today: technology. They got technology.
That's all they got.
That's all they got.
That's all they got.
And I've said this before.
They got no history, bro.
Here it is.
Are they going to remember?
Here it is.
Their childhood? What are they going to remember?
I'm gonna ask
what
you-
What the fuck are they
real
going to
quick,
remember?
Nick, I'm
when
gonna
you
ask
look
you.
back, what are you going to remember
Nick,
of your childhood?
I'm
See, I
gonna-
can remember the Knicks in 73. What are you going to remember?
Let me get your attention, Nick.
Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you just answer
Go ahead.
who you think. Here's what was great about his era and beyond, in my era.
Yes.
Who today, for kids, musically, replaces Prince and Michael Jackson? No one. The answer is no one.
Bieber?
Yeah.
No. How dare you?
What do you mean?
I just said Prince and Michael Jackson.
Chris Brown?
Michael, how dare you?
How? Could've.
You're showing your youth.
I'm kidding.
Michael
Fucking
Jackson was a global phenomenon. He made grown men in Bucharest cry.
Yeah.
Chris Brown ain't doing that.
No, it's nowhere near.
Now, who did they replace as musically? Whitney Houston. Who did they replace as Mike Tyson? Who did they replace as Michael Jordan? We had the best of the best.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be an old man, get off my porch. I'm saying, honestly, give me an answer.
Well, for their
you,
era.
You ever seen Bieber live? He cried.
He was being funny.
No, he was being
Did you
serious.
really cry?
I didn't cry. I loved the kid. He could throw down.
This is the gayest moment of my
Yeah,
life.
I know. It's fucked up, but Justin Bieber can throw down.
Okay,
Justin Bieber's a savage.
He is a savage
He's
out
a
there.
savage.
You know who else was a savage?
But-
Michael Jackson at 5.
I'm sure he was.
At 5.
He's the
At
goat.
5.
He's the goat for a reason.
Okay, thank you. You said it.
I have
is
no
the GOAT.
disrespect
I'm
towards
just saying,
him.
Michael Jackson, up until the weird moments, he was everybody's generation. You know
Yeah.
how hard that is to do?
It's your childhood.
Extremely hard.
70s,
That
80s,
afro.
90s, 2000. Everybody grew
When you
up
went
on
in the
this
nightclub
man.
and put Michael Jackson, you were in heaven.
Come
Well, you can still
on.
put Michael Jackson. I
No,
DJ
but I'm talking
parties and
about-
still play him.
And all those guys, let's go through them. Bieber, Chris Brown, Mario, fucking Marcus Houston, Usher, they all stole from Michael. All their moves were from Michael. Now, granted, Michael stole from James Brown and Jackie Wilson.
Right.
but
Everything recycles.
Michael was the dude.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Go.
Now, he's
no debate.
He's a rare breed.
For boxing, as much
When
as
you
people...
when you take Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, I'm
Come on.
he's
Yeah,
Italian.
yeah, Frank, yeah.
But Frank is fucking
Yeah.
50 years. You know,
Yeah.
you're talking about Marlon Brando acting.
The greatest
you're
of the
talking about
greatest.
the great of the greatest. Even today, like as good as LeBron, these other guys.
Nobody's
near
fucking
Michael.
with Michael Jordan.
Nobody fucks with him. That's a thoroughbred. You ever seen Secretariat run at the Belmont Stakes? 33 lengths ahead. He ran by himself, motherfucker. Air Jordan today is still fucking global, right?
Listen, man, as much credit as people want to say about Dante Wilder and Tyson
No,
Fury,
nothing against Dante Wilder, these guys.
no one,
they
no
didn't
one
generate Mike
had
Tyson.
the energy
Yeah.
of Mike Tyson. Now, you talking about going to go see some shit live?
Yeah.
You ever seen Mike live fight?
No,
And I
didn't.
saw the latter
No,
years
I
after
didn't.
prison.
You saw him live?
And the electricity in that arena, from
Yeah.
the time he walked out that tunnel and took that towel off,
Right.
and was like a lion pacing back and forth, you just went, ooh,
Yeah.
we fitting to see something.
Oh, yeah.
And that wasn't even Mike in his prime.
I know.
I'm talking about custom model Mike.
Yeah, that was, it's a shame. If Cuss didn't die and
Are you
all those
kidding
people
me?
left, if Mike would have been
Still with
protected,
Jimmy Jacobs?
If Mike would have been protected, his whole life would have been different.
Mike, let's put
And
it
I
in
love Mike.
perspective.
I just love
Let's
him.
put it in perspective.
But-
When Mike retired, he was 56-5. He had the same exact record as Muhammad Ali, 56-5.
Because Ali stayed too
Okay,
long.
okay, but
Yeah.
nonetheless,
Yeah.
imagine Tyson with his head on straight, never gone to prison, and lost the 3 years. That motherfucker might have been 102.
Yeah.
He was a vicious animal.
But
no one excites me in boxing like Mike.
No. And he's still so what's the word?
Pulverizing.
Pulverizing as a person.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, there's just something about him pulverizing, right?
Polarizing.
Polarizing. What the fuck did I say?
Pulverizing.
Pulverizing.
But that's Mike Tyson.
But that's fucking
He would pulverize
polarizing.
you. On that press conference, the one with Lennox Lewis, where he said to the guy who yells out,
Yeah.
put him in a straitjacket. And Mike goes off. But his
Right.
mother in a straitjacket. You fucking bitch. You hoe. You not man enough to fuck with me. I'll fuck you till you love me. If that's not the scariest words I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You gonna fuck me until I fall in love?
Can't write that.
No, you can't
No,
write
that's
that.
brilliant. That's a brilliant
If
monologue.
I came home and
He came up with that, right?
Yes.
He's fucking genius. That's why I want to lay in bed, eat popcorn with him. I love the dude.
Why don't you just go on his podcast?
Maybe I'll go on his podcast. I may have to smoke a blunt or
I've been
something.
trying to get on his podcast, but he's such a different dude now.
He's
found his
he
feng
gets
shui,
hot.
man.
He found his feng shui.
Yeah, man,
I saw
he's-
his one-man show, and he remembered meeting me. I went backstage. I
Right.
go, "Hey, Mike, goes, I know, I remember you."
Right.
And he's a
He's a different. Here's what I'm happy about.
I'm happy for
that
him.
he survived it.
Yes, me too.
Because everybody was
But we
counting the
all wanted
days
him.
till he either gonna go to jail for the rest of his life or he's
wind up dead. Yeah.
And he survived
Yeah,
it,
he
man.
did. He
and
did.
he came out better on top. It's like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
He went through a tunnel of shit.
But you know,
and came out smiling.
I think people always had a lot of love for him.
Always. You know why?
And they still
You
do.
know why?
Because I'll tell you why. I think because there's something really vulnerable
Genuine.
about him.
Genuine.
And vulnerable.
Listen, when Mike, I don't know.
He seems human to us. Is even though that they created that guy, Invincible Mike Tyson, he wasn't. In a lot of ways, what makes him more appealing. Because if he had just been this machine, cold-blooded killer, you might not like Mike Tyson as much. And he's funny too.
But I don't think that even if he was this cold-blooded machine, you wouldn't have liked him as much because we love destruction. We're Americans.
Yes.
But what made you fall in love with him was you knew, besides the boxing
That he
shit,
was real.
He was real.
That he was real.
And people see through the bullshit.
they do.
Mike had a great
They
quote
do.
where he said, Customato once told me, you're in a business with sheep's disguised as wolves, and you're not intelligent enough to know the difference.
Wow, he said that to him? Yeah.
And granted,
he
Mike
didn't.
was a kid.
Yeah, he didn't.
Heavyweight
He
champion
didn't
of the
have
world, the money,
the intelligence, or the know-how of a Muhammad Ali, or the sophistication.
And he just got used and
He did.
abused. And that's why my heart bleeds for him.
Yeah.
Because I go,
They ate him alive.
They ate him alive.
They ate him alive. His friends, all these fucking bad people, they just ate him like he was a fucking wolf.
Like he wasn't shit.
Yeah, and
So
that's why at the end,
he was so fucking angry.
You saw what was left of him. And, he didn't compete against Holyfield, all that. That all played into it. Because if he had been kept...
Come on.
You don't know how great he could have been.
Come on.
That's the thing, how great he...
Listen,
there's always some guys like how great they could have been.
Listen.
He's going to be one of them.
As great as Holyfield is.
No, he's not as...
And he's a legit motherfucker.
He's a tough guy.
Lennox is a legit motherfucker.
But mentally,
Tyson
those guys
in his
are not...
prime destroys
all of them.
everybody.
Yes. But they didn't have the issues Mike had. They didn't have the vulnerability.
No.
They didn't have the things that Mike went through.
Both in their prime. Who wins? Ali, Tyson.
In their prime?
Yeah. Mike at his best. Ali at his best.
I'm going to pick Ali.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he was just, he had too many, he's just too smart.
Mike was intelligent too, though.
Yeah, but...
Mike wasn't just a brawler.
Yeah.
Mike could box, dude.
But, I mean, listen.
The head movement.
Yeah.
And remember, Frazier knocked Ali down with one punch.
Yeah,
Ali,
but that was
Tyson,
from many, many punches.
I know, but Tyson
And he
had
got
power
up.
in both hands.
Yeah, he got up.
Just as fast.
I know, but look what he fought. An older guy fought who was a scary fucking dude who destroyed people in seconds. He fucking
George
did what
Foreman?
he had to do mentally to beat
Right.
George Foreman. Now, he should have gotten killed by George Foreman.
Right.
Murdered. He murdered everybody. And
Right.
Ali somehow found a way to beat him.
Yeah.
Shocked everybody. I don't
Yeah.
bet against Ali.
Really?
I just don't. I mean, maybe if you had said Muhammad Ali against maybe Joe Louis or some shit. I don't know if you.
I think that's a given.
That's a crazy fight, maybe.
That's a
But
given, yeah.
it's very hard to go.
I think it's a
in
tough
other
one to call.
eras. It's very hard. Maybe some guys you think could fight in any era. I think Ali probably could beat anybody in any
I
era.
think Ali
in his prime.
I think Ali beats Tyson, but on points.
yeah.
No way he knocks Mike out.
No, I didn't say knock him out.
Right. But a Mike Tyson with Jimmy Jacobs and Kevin Rooney couldn't be frustrated. That Mike,
No,
with the superior head movement.
but we didn't see it enough to know.
I think we saw enough.
No, we
I
didn't.
ain't got to see a Lamborghini go fast more than once. I get it.
I know, but you have to see him tested and how he reacts when he's in really trouble. To me, I'd take somebody like Duran. He could have fought in any era. One of my favorite fighters.
Duran was a bad motherfucker.
He's a bad boy. I
But
tried
you
to
don't-
tell him.
But you don't think he loses credit with the Nomos? He quit.
I don't know if he quit.
Did we see the same fight?
Yeah, but I don't know if he quit or it was a fucking fixed fight. I don't know what happened. If you remember, the rematch was made so quickly, and physically, if you watched
But
him,
that's his fault because he was partying and eating crazy. And
and remember, sometimes you have to get up so high. He had to get in a frenzy to kick his fucking ass in Montreal, and he did. He beat the shit out of Leonard in a lot of ways, but he was older, and he had to rise to the occasion to get to that level. Like Frazier was never the same after he beat up Ali. That he had to get to that night. Frazier could have beat anybody that first fight. And the same thing with Duran. Duran did come back and beat guys, but he was older and he had to come up to a level again. And he did, and he was never the same. I'm not
Right.
making an excuse mentally.
right.
So I don't think mentally, physically, I don't know what happened to him. He wasn't even getting beat much. He took a shot and he just said it was the weirdest shit.
Well,
who the fuck knows?
I know, but unlike the first fight, he couldn't touch Leonard, and Leonard was taunting him.
What?
And fucking with his ego.
He wasn't the same guy. You could see it in his eyeballs. I look in the guy's eyes, and I know if the guy is there. Duran, if you want to put those two fights together and look at his body, look at his face, he don't look the same. Leonard looks relatively the same, only a little bigger.
No.
Yes.
It was
a
Leonard,
look.
Leonard fought a totally different fight. He
But he fought a
totally
different Duran.
fight.
He fought a different Duran.
Well, that's not his fault.
No, I'm not saying it's his fault.
Right.
I'm saying, who the fuck knows where Roberto was? He eats steaks. He parties.
Right.
He would go from 140 to 210. Do you
Right.
realize that?
Yeah.
Duran is my man.
Listen,
I
I
love
love it.
Duran.
Listen, dude, that's why I'm saying again.
As much as now, I give credit to Leonard and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I told
Listen.
him, I said, listen, if Mayweather fought those guys today, he would have taken
Oh,
something.
come
He would
on.
have gotten beat sometimes.
Are you fucking
right?
kidding me? Of
Hearns,
course. Of course.
Leonard, Duran, You tell me none of those guys
Benitez?
would have never fucking beat
Come
Mayweather?
on.
Get the fuck out of here. He would have lost
And
in
them
that
dudes
era.
fought each other constantly.
Yes, they didn't wait a
Constantly.
year in the WBA,
Yes.
this
Yes.
promotion, that promotion.
Yes.
That's what's fucked up with
Yes.
boxing. We just covered this bare knuckle thing. That was
Are
interesting.
you into the MMA and UFC?
I've gotten into the MMA because we started watching Crazy McGregor. I've gotten into the MMA. I've actually, and I'm not an MMA guy, but I have taken a liking to it.
Yeah.
It is fun. Give it a chance. There's too much bullshit in boxing.
There
At least
is now.
These guys get in there.
No, there is now.
And they're talented. You know, they're not prize fighters,
Right.
but they're talented.
They're not
tough.
boxers. They are prize fighters. They're not boxers.
They're prize
They
fighters,
fight
but they're
for a
not
prize.
boxers.
So you're deep into boxing?
Yeah.
So
gotta have one.
I don't like it as much now because it's not what it used to be.
Right.
okay, so who do you think wins, Pacquiao or Thurman?
I'm not sure. I don't know who Thurman is.
You don't know. You don't watch
Keith
him, George?
Thurman?
No.
He's
No.
the welterweight division right now. Like,
Yeah.
are you aware on it right now? Too
A
much?
little bit. A little
So like,
bit.
you know, Spence and Crawford are
Crawford. I know Crawford.
Those are the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can't fight because Crawford's on ESPN and Spence is on PBC.
Well, that's the fuckery.
So that's
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
fuckery.
saying.
Yeah.
But Keith Thurman,
That's what we're
who's
saying.
another champion in the welterweight division, doesn't want to fight Errol Spence
This is what I'm
because he
saying.
knows he'll lose.
This is
but
the-
he fights an old Pacquiao and
This
he
is
may
the
lose that
era
fight.
that you guys are coming up in.
It's all fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Aries Spears in the house. What do you got going on, man? Touring?
I'm touring right now. My podcast
Got a
is called
podcast?
it's called Spears and Steinberg, aka The Jew and the Jerk. And it's available through iTunes, Apple, Google Play, Spotify. So we're about 2 years old now. We're about
Right.
to hit 100 episodes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and then I'm just on the road, man. And also, guys, check me out on Instagram, Aries Spears, Facebook, Aries Spears, and subscribe to my Patreon and also Cameo for any celebrity shout-outs. Incidentally,
Should I do
gotta
that?
Yes, motherfucker.
There's money in that?
Yes.
Cameo? People
Matter
have
of
been
fact, I'm
telling me.
going to show you something.
The fuck?
And not only am I going to want you to get on it, and you got to get on it, I'm going
right.
to show you the benefits.
All right.
Yes, motherfucker.
I didn't realize.
What?
Because I make all these videos, but I
put Ice-T on when Ice-T did our podcast. Because of him, I want to show you how much money I've made.
really.
Yeah. Because the thing is this, you could get paid off of, you doing Cameo requests.
Right.
But then if you put somebody on for the first year that they're on,
Right.
whatever they make, you get 10% of what they make.
Oh, really?
And you charge your own price. So like I charge $75 a Cameo. Ice-T charges $400. And people
And how
will
long
pay
does the
it.
cameo consist of?
It's however long you want it to be. They send you and you're reading off your phone from a teleprompter.
Really?
So you don't ever have to
So you
worry
made
about
some,
memorizing.
You made some good moolah from
Yeah,
it?
man, I'm gonna show you. You look
Really?
on your phone and there's somebody going, "Hey, Nick, it's my friend's birthday. Wish him happy birthday." Hit start and you just go, "Hey, whoever this is, happy birthday from Nick Turturro. Take care." Money.
Been bothering
there
me
you go.
for these fucking people for the last year or two, and I'm ignoring it, going,
Yeah, because you ignore everything till you see
I ignore
results.
everything. That's the fucking story of my life. That's
And
why I'm
here's
in the
what's-
fucking toilet. My son wants me to do stand-up. What do you think? Should I try it? All these guys
Try
are
it.
trying stand-up.
Joey Diaz
I've always
co-signed.
thought about
Joey
it, and I've always
Diaz
said, I
co-signed
don't
him.
want to...
Russell Peters co-signed
I don't
him.
want to like disrespect.
Everybody
but people,
co-signed
I'm a
him to do it.
storyteller.
That's how I
And was
felt about-
thinking
but
that
that's part of
acting.
it. That's an art form.
And I was thinking, yeah, listen, my stories, nobody's going to tell them the way I tell them. So I don't know. I just always
That's how
thought
I
like,
felt about podcasts.
Did
I was
you?
going, dude, it's like radio. I'm not a radio guy.
Yeah.
But you fucking try it, man.
Yeah,
Here's
this-
the great thing about stand-up. They will let you know
yeah,
immediately
if it works or not.
if it works.
If you bomb,
There's
you bomb.
no fucking around. If they don't like you,
I'll either be really good or really bad.
especially if you do a black crowd. White people can be
Black
polite.
people like me.
Okay.
Black people like
Black
me.
people let you know
They
too.
fucking love me.
Hey, motherfucker, you better get off that stage.
If it was up to black people,
for
I'd
we
be a
have
movie
Martinez
star.
from NYPD Blue.
Nah.
Arrest your ass. They'll say shit like
those are my
that.
people.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
I'm down with the brothers.
Come on, man.
So,
Italian and black. We know
That's
what
what
we
I
do.
told you, baby.
Yeah.
Great show, my man. Thank you.
Got it, baby. Oh, man.